High Level is a full CRM and marketing platform, and I've used some of the best in the SaaS industry. Hello, hello. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and I think that's about it. It's Revening's Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday, Revenue Party people. We've got our hot topics and our hot guests we're going to be getting into. And I'm thinking about bringing back hot prizes. Let me know what you think. If we did hot prizes in the WhatsApp chat. If you're not in the Wednesday Winners WhatsApp group, that's where you want to be. But tonight we have some hot guests, so I want to get right into it. But before I do, I got to give a plug to Cherry Assistant. Big thanks to Layla, who's here. Just click that overlay right now, showing you the QR code to delegate now. What is it that you're working on? Call Cherry Assistant and find a VA who can be placed with you and help you with the things that you're working on, be it executive assistant work, bookkeeping. There's a whole lot of things you'll see at intermission. But AP, I always love seeing you here. Jess, hey, good to see you. Lyndsay, Mark, oh my gosh, so glad you guys are here. Should we do an after party tonight? I'm thinking we go to revening.com/Zoom after the show and connect. Maybe we can get the guests there. I don't know. I know it gets late. But anyway, let's get right into it too with High Level. I'll be talking about High Level during intermission. But if you want to go check out High Level, click that QR code or scan it. Or if you're on podcast, go to revening.com/High Level and start a 30-day free trial. We use High Level internally, and it really helps us. I mean, it's our everything tool. And we're trying to even more get everything over to High Level, including even contracts. So it's CRM, marketing automation. It's like everything you pretty much need to run a business for $97 a month. So try it out. Let me know what you think. I'm an affiliate, so if you use my code, I'll get a 40% cut. So I want to make sure that you succeed. But anyway, let's get right into it. Let's welcome to the show our guests. We have Lyndsay Dowd and Blake Baxendell. Thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
And nice to meet everyone.
All right. Nice to meet you too, because good old-fashioned Wednesday style. I always meet the guests the night of the show, and we meet during pre-show. So we had a pretty great pre-show, but it's only 15 minutes. So now we get to know you a little more with your full life story from birth to what brought you to now. In 2 minutes, no pressure. Blake, could you kick us off?
Yeah. So for me, I'm originally from the western side of Pennsylvania, a small town called Jamestown, PA, little country area. I went to a college called Slippery Rock University. I went there. In between, I actually joined the military, and I was in the Air Force for about 17 years, and kind of helped guide me, pretty much helped pay for all my college. Was in the kind of bounced around industries. I was originally in the film industry, then in the photography industry, and then I ended up becoming a programmer, and that's where I really got into the marketing industry. And from there, I just kind of revamped my marketing skills. At the time, to kind of really progress in the area, you had to kind of I get poached a lot as a developer, so I'd hop around from agency to other agencies. That's kind of like really how people seem to get promoted at the time. And eventually, I went to make my way up to like CMO, and then after that, I eventually wanted to kind of start my own business. I did freelance for a lot of years, and during that time, I just kind of built up a good network of people who we work with, and I still use a lot of these individuals today to help run our agency. And so, really, our agency, technically as a business, is pretty young. It's only about 4 years old, but as being in the marketing industry, I've been in it for over 20. And again, most of that was as a programmer, and then I ended up learning about SEO, so I know a lot about SEO. I pretty much had to get a whole vamp on it when I became like a CMO, so I can help do it. So yeah, that's where we're at.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And I let you go over a little bit just because
Oh,
the
yeah.
chat is on fire.
Okay.
And people are like blowing up. So like everyone, we want to make this conversation for you. We're going to keep the comments flowing up on the screen so that we can see them. We obviously don't catch them all, but ask some good questions. Keep us honest. But let's meet Lyndsay. Lyndsay, with 2 minutes on the clock, could you tell us your full life story from birth to what brought you to now?
I think I can do it in 2 minutes. I'm going to leave some stuff out. But in a nutshell, I spent 25 years in corporate America, and 23 of them were leading big sales teams for IBM. After 23 years, I was ready for a change, went to another company, and in 6 short months, they fired me. And I was devastated, gutted, couldn't believe it was happening to me. I wasn't the person to get fired. I was the overachiever, the one who gets recognized, the one who gets the awards, the one who sets the pace. So it really caught me flat-footed. And I asked myself, after a month of licking my wounds, what am I really good at? What do I love to do? And how can I help people the most? And I started my company, Heartbeat for Hire. I started coaching C-suites. I started coaching individual leaders, and I started keynote speaking and doing executive LinkedIn workshops. And I wrote a couple of books, and I started a podcast, and episode 163 aired today. And I live in Boston. I'm from New York. I'm a mom of 17-year-old twins who are going to be off to college next year. And I'm way under time, Jesse. So how do you like that?
I mean, wow, that is incredible. Well, thank you so much for sharing, both of you. It's great to meet you. Audience members, go follow our guest tonight because you're going to see why. We're going to dig into the topics a little more, but we want to keep hearing from you. So ask your questions, share your opinions as well. But the first topic is leadership mistakes when top performers fail as managers. Okay, so full disclosure, I was actually a top performer. And the reason I was a top performer in sales was because we were selling text messages and I knew how to set up automations. So I would go sell text messages and then I would get them set up with automations on Zapier, and their text messages usage would just skyrocket because it was automated. And so that was my trick. And then they made me sales manager, but it was really a marketer. So this topic really resonated with me. So can you kick us off with this and explain, maybe why it wasn't such a great idea to put the top performing salesperson is a sales manager?
Yeah, I'd love to hit this topic, Jesse. This is near and dear to my heart. And as a sales leader at a really big company, this was something I saw all the time. So very often when you're a top performer, leadership says, okay, we want more of what Fred is doing. He's crushing it. So let's make Fred a manager and we'll make everybody else follow what Fred does. Here's the piece that they're missing. While Fred might have been really good at his own territory and really good with clients, Fred might not care about other people. And I've seen this happen so many times where they grab the job, they take the job thinking that they're going to climb up the ladder. This is the next stop in their career trajectory, and they likely manage up very, very well. The challenge with all of this is if they don't care about people, they are basically just going to be asking their team to do exactly what they did without connecting with them. They're going to sit there and be like, why can't you do this? The team is going to be frustrated and uninspired. So here's the reality. If you don't love people and if you don't care about seeing people win, do not go into management. And just because you are a fabulous seller does not mean you will be a good manager. And I'll tell you a good story. I was managing a rep. She was crushing it. And I'm talking like $1 million commission checks year after year. And she hated people. She was not a people person. And she stomped on everybody that she had to work with along the way. So the people that wrote the contracts, legal, everybody. And I got all the complaints of all the people that had to work with her that didn't want to work with her anymore. And I called her out and I said, hey, you can't work like this. People need to know that they can count on you and that you can build a relationship with them. And I'm tired of getting these calls. And so she was basically shocked. No one had ever told her this before. And she said, I'm stunned. Nobody's ever called me out on this before. I'm like, well, then you've not had a good manager, because you have to have people that will tell you what's going on. Well, somebody told her that because she had been in this role for 10 years, that her resume looked stale. And I'm sorry, if you're making $1 million commission checks, who cares what your resume looks like? That's fantastic. She needed to stay exactly where she was. But this person gave her advice saying, you need to go into management. And I said, come hell or high water, I will never approve that. I will never encourage you to do that. That is the wrong place for you. We can do other things with your talent. You can host workshops. You can mentor people. You can actually tell people how you do this, and we can incent you to stay in this role. But making her a manager would have been disastrous for everyone.
I gotcha. Yeah, 100%. And I'm curious from people in the audience, and Layla, I don't know, did we get any relevant comments on this topic? Like, has anyone else been in that position, or, also been on the other position where you like did things the right way? Like, what is the right way? So who do we look for as a manager? If we're not looking at the top performer, who is it that we're looking for to be a manager?
So when I was managing teams, the things that I always looked for was the people that raised their hands, the people that really wanted to throw their hat in the ring, try something new. I actually had a woman on my team. She was very suspicious when I was first hired as her manager. She really was like, not sure I understand who this person is. I'll hold out judgment until I get to know her a little more. And once we got to know each other, she really started to respect me. And she started to raise her hand and she said, there's a couple people on this team. I'd really love to mentor them. Would you be okay with that? And she was a phenomenal seller. And I said, absolutely. That would help me so much. Go for it. And so she did. And she would report back and she would tell me what we learned. There were people on the team that didn't know what they were doing. They had moved over from an acquisition. And so she really kind of took the bull by the horns and made it her mission to help everybody get better. And that is someone who you want to be a manager. And I asked her one day, I said, Emma, has anyone ever asked you if you want to be a manager? And she said, no one's ever asked me that. I said, well, at the first opportunity I have, I'm going to promote you. And I did. And she's still one of my favorite managers to watch in action. She leads with heart. She understands how she needs to meet people where they are. And she cares about people. She was fantastic.
I love that. Okay, so we have a couple relevant top comments from the audience on this. So Lyndsay Rios says, there was a great post by Ashley Coghill yesterday about a terrible manager she had that wanted credit for a deal she closed that he supported her on, so much so he lied to leadership, telling them she didn't want some of the commission. She was fine sharing it. Yikes. Ooh, drama. Can we drop that in the chat, like, so everyone can see it? But also, Blake, and then we got Andrew Paul saying, damn, what did she manage? Yeah. So exactly.
Andrew, first, let me just say, in sales, if you are hitting your number, it's very linear. You hit your number, you get paid. Nobody cares about your personality along the way. So do I think she should have, got all of that money because she was a jerk? Not really, but she did what we asked. So you get paid. It's that simple. But to what Lyndsay said a moment ago, I mean, that is the worst. And if you have a leader that is going to be so shady that way and so, basically lie, that is not someone you want to work for. You want to find another role, either somewhere else in the country, in the company, or you need to get out because that person is not going to do you right.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on all this, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, me, I've never been good at the sales part. I guess when, in a way, once the people come to me, the initial part, I'm pretty decent with chit-chatting, kind of getting technical terms with them, and then kind of, pretty much telling them what we all offer. But for me, I felt like, where I'm at more now today, I think is more because of my leadership. Again, I'm going to kind of credit that to the military and stuff like that. It really kind of pushed me into that. And I was also, pretty much like a manager per se in the military at the time. So I was, pretty much used to that kind of mindset. And so the sales part, it was never a thing for me. Still isn't.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I digress. Everyone in the chat, keep the comments coming. Tell us what you think, because we're going to transition and switch gears a little bit into the next topic that Blake's going to kick us off on. So Blake, you come with a lot of marketing experience. So kick us off on AI and marketing and reshaping content, SEO, and client needs.
Yeah. So I'm sure, AI is pretty much taking everything by storm. If you haven't dabbled in it yet, I'm sure you will here soon. But pretty much AI is just not really a shiny tool anymore. It's really changing the entire market when it comes to SEO. You kind of use it for content, like I said, SEO, and even just trying to help measure like client success. So some of the things that people in SEO worked on like last year could already be outdated pretty much today. So some of the things that really here that people may have saw that has made big changes now is if you just go to Google or other search platforms, you pretty much type in what you're searching for, and first thing you see now is the AI overviews, and from there it's what SEO really originally was pretty much to help get everyone ranking and showing up on the first page, driving more organic traffic. So what we're kind of seeing now is obviously the SEO side. You can't really focus just on your keyword ranking anymore. It's pretty much how AI works is it takes a lot of your quality content that you're putting out, and then it goes ahead and builds that. They crawl a lot of the large keywords that you're trying to do, like any kind of like, that's why they're trying to do like more long tail keywords to kind of help out with that. But what you're seeing though is a lot of people's organic traffic might be dropping, and so are some of the keyword rankings, and that's actually just okay. But and it is going to bounce back a lot of points, but what's happening is now you got to kind of measure like how people are getting to your site. Are they coming through ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gronk, whatever. I mean, there's so many out there. And with that, what we're kind of seeing is, some things that might took like, focusing really just on Google, we have to kind of focus on multiple different chat platforms. So it's really getting really complex. So one of the things is, again, on your website, you want to make sure you have some good structure. Maybe some clear Q&A, any kind of articles that you're writing, or even, any content on your website, you want to make sure there's good topical authority in it. Other parts, you want to make sure you have schema markup, and then you got to keep in mind that the keyword ranking now on the front page is still important, but it's not becoming as important as, some of the metrics you're going to want to start looking at more is, again, how your organic traffic's happening. So what I'm finding though with a lot of that is that, yes, maybe some of your rankings and maybe some organic traffic is falling because a lot of people are just getting the answers from the AI overview area. But what we're seeing is the clients who are coming now to websites are usually better quality versus, people might have just saw like a blog article or something that you wrote and they popped it up, and all they're really doing now is just look, what they did at the time was just read that article and then really never maybe took any kind of action. So what the AI overviews is now doing is pretty much crawling a lot of those articles, giving them the answers already if they want. Obviously, if they want to take any action, they can go to your website afterwards. But if the person's truly looking for your services, then you can we're starting to see more of those kind of people coming there versus, the reduction in it. So, but I was kind of just saying, again, kind of speak on AI. One of the biggest things that you want to look out for is, what a lot of people are using it for is also content creation. And I just want to say, it's great for creating first drafts of things, but you still want to go in and edit things, check for facts. It's not good to just copy as is and then paste it. You're going to want to make sure you have your own brand voice in there, along with, just kind of like how your tone and everything is. So, but yeah. And again, I think it's changing a lot of my expectations. For us, we're able to accomplish more. So I feel like we're able to give our clients bigger bang for their buck than what it used to be just even a year ago. Whatever.
That's great.
Yeah, because we're able to shave down some of our work items by like a couple hours on certain things that used to take us that. So, and
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Darlene said, I'm finding that the visitors to websites already have intent mostly. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I like where I was saying where in the past where some may not have had certain intent was, they were just looking for a specific topic to read about, like a question that they had answered. And then, a certain person wrote a blog to answer that. And so you click on the blog, but you really have no desire for their services. You just wanted that question answered. So that's where now the AI overview, I feel, is kind of weeding those type of people out to your website.
100%. What's your take on all this, Lyndsay? How have you incorporated any of this?
Well, first, I'm really glad that Andrew Paul clarified that it's human in the loop and not human in the loo. I thought that was like new lingo I hadn't learned yet. But regarding SEO, that is my least favorite topic because I have a podcast and I'm told every single day by at least 10 people, mostly from Bangladesh, who tell me my SEO on YouTube is terrible and I need to pay them and they need to fix it. So it's become a real thorn in my side and something I've really kind of pushed away from. I know I need it, but I think YouTube is its own beast. And if anyone wants to help me for free, please let me know.
Yeah, and I do want to add just one more thing. And you'll see out there, and there's some people they really believe that the SEO side is like dead, but it's those kind of articles always bother me because it's still not. Even for this AI optimization, a good 95% or more of it is probably still everything that you're already doing for SEO, and it's just, in my opinion, it's just evolving.
Totally, 100%. I'm curious from the audience, like, what have we not mentioned on this topic of AI and marketing, reshaping content, SEO, and client needs? Have we not addressed that you would like to hear? Plug your questions and comments in the chat, which you've all been doing a great job of. And remember, look at Parmita, you are here. That is we were seeing as LinkedIn member. So when we see you as LinkedIn member, there's a privacy setting, as you saw in the chat. So I'm glad that we walked you through it and that we can see you now. But Jessie, anyway,
I was just going to add, from a sales perspective, AI can be enormously useful to do research on your clients. And I know that's going to segue into the next topic, but that is such a good hack for sellers to get to know their clients before they call on them.
Oh, yes. And then that gets into like product market fit. And if you don't know your client, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to spend a whole bunch of money. So before we get into that next topic, which is modern sales strategy, building relationships that convert, we're going to get into that here right after this brief message.
This is Mike, also known as Clean with Mike on Twitter. Mike hired a virtual assistant from Cherry Assistant about 2 years ago. Now he has a $50K per month business fully managed by a remote operator in South Africa. His VA from South Africa does the following: closing inbound leads on the phone, Yelp and Google and Facebook, manages his CRM and Go High Level, deals with rescheduling, cancellations, any issues, hires and manages the cleaners, and sends them daily reports and updates. Mike has a fully cash flowing business managed by a remote operator for only $8 an hour. You can also hire a US equivalent worker in the Philippines, South Africa, Latin America for a fraction of the cost with Cherry Assistant. Be like Mike and grow your business with offshore staff.
Okay, so if you're listening on podcast, what's showing on the screen right now is a menu of services, including lead generation, CRM management, prospecting assistance, sales presentation preparation, data entry and cleanup, customer support, and project management assistance. So just go to cherryassistant.com, fill out their form, talk to them, let them know that you heard about them on WinsDay, and I get a little bit of credit for that as well. But find yourself a VA and start to delegate. And then I was also going to give a plug to High Level. So we were talking about High Level a little bit pre-show, and High Level is, I'm an affiliate of High Level. We also white label it for our company. And so anyone who does our services, we help people go live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, all the platforms. We turn it into podcasts and short form video. But when they work with us, we get them on High Level so we can help show them the leads that are coming in. So we create their calendar booking page on High Level. And, you know, when we have leads that come in through the live streams, because you can gate your live stream when it's on a company page. So then you have email addresses from everyone who attended the live stream, and you can get marketing consent right on LinkedIn when you gate it. So you plug that into the CRM, more leads in CRM. So for us, we like to use High Level for ourselves internally for marketing automation and sales, but then also for our clients so that we can show we're bringing in the leads for them. And we've helped even migrate clients from Salesforce, HubSpot, some of the big players over to High Level, really to app.reveting.com because we white label it. But if you want to try it out, you definitely should. Before I go on, I know pre-show, both of you said you are familiar with High Level. So I would love to hear your experience with High Level. If you don't mind sharing, could you tell us a little bit about your experience, Lyndsay?
Sure. I used it in two different capacities. One, just as an entrepreneur by myself, and I should say solopreneur, and one as a CRO of a startup. And for the CRO role, we used it a lot for email campaigns. We could really track our open rates, and if they were clicking on links. It was really great to design emails where we could embed video. There was a lot we could do to make our emails look really slick and modern. It was also great to check how our social posts were doing. So we could see, open rate, impressions, all of that stuff. So we knew what things were doing well and what things needed more help. It just gave us a lot of intel in areas that you might not normally have it. It was pretty easy to use. And I think we probably were using like 50% of the features. There's so much in there. So it's just one of those things that if you're taught and you're working with the right people like Jessie, she'll teach you all the stuff that I probably wasn't using.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And how about you, Blake? You also are using it.
Yes. Yeah. We probably been using it for about 2 years now. And the main base of it was, I was using it for myself, just to kind of help with our lead funnels and loading it. And there's still so much more I need to learn in there, to be honest. And because I actually have people who manage it for me, which is kind of nice. But the big thing though is, we were just talking about AI. So we've actually been able to start setting up the automations, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit more, in my next topic on here about those kind of things. But for the AI side, it was kind of nice because what we've been able to help streamline our onboarding process by using automation and AI through High Level.
Oh, I think you're on mute, Jessie. There you go.
Yes, I was saying nice. Well, thank you both for sharing about your High Level experience. Let's get back into these hot topics. So moving right into our third topic, modern sales strategy, building relationships that convert. Could you kick us off, Lyndsay?
I would love to. I mean, first of all, the concept of modern sales strategy, I'm taking you back to the basics. And the basics are the best sellers know how to make relationships. And that's not a fancy process. That's not a 10-step way to win a deal. That's just how you got to win. When you're authentic and you're vulnerable and you're willing to put yourself out there, those are all great qualities in a seller. But really the most important quality, aside from that, is you need to be able to tell a story. And I did this a lot with my teams, where I would tell them, we're going to start a storytelling campaign, but you're going to tell me what you sell like you're talking to my retired school teacher mother. And that process forced them to think about their technology, because I was in tech, forced them to think about what they were selling in a way that anyone could understand it. And once they started speaking like that, other people could understand. And I know in the tech world, we use acronyms like crazy. And there's a lot of acronyms that don't mean the same thing, but they're the same letters. You can't really do that. You've really got to be simple. And the other thing you've got to do, and we talked about it a moment ago, is do your homework. Know who your client is. And I know Lyndsay Rios and I, one of our favorite people to follow is Samantha McKenna, and she trademarked something called Show Me You Know Me. And that is how I've always sold, but she does it so well. And what that basically means is, if you are going to sell to someone, I'm going to do my homework on you, Jesse. So I'm going to know that where you went to college. I'm going to know, things that you like. I'm going to look at your posts. I'm going to do a deep dive on you. And when I send you that first email or that first outreach on LinkedIn, I'm going to say something personal that connects us. And you're going to be intrigued, and you're going to be like, wow, this is interesting. This is a cool approach. And when you do that, you're memorable. And when you tell a story, you're memorable. And if you can really get to know them and share kind of your history, your story, you can build rapport. And that's what keeps you in-house. So if you are not following Samantha McKenna, make that happen. Toot sweet. She is the best. And, I'm just a huge fan of hers, but that's really the basics, the simplest stuff that really tracks.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And actually, Sam McKenna has talked about Show Me You Know Me right here on the show when we first started off. I don't know, early on, and I was probably in 2022 that she was on here. But yeah, she is incredible. If you're not following her, then definitely go follow her. I'll second that as well. And thank you for sharing everything you shared about, storytelling. I think that's a part that gets missed a lot in sales.
Yeah. It's so much richer than talking about features and functions. I mean, features and functions are great, but if you aren't listening to your client and you're not asking them how this could help them, or what do they need, or what, you've got to be a great listener. You've got to be curious. You've got to ask lots of questions. You got to shut up. A lot of sellers like to
shut up. Yeah, it's so true. And I don't know if you agree with this. I use kind of more of a gap selling method, where trying to peel back the onion and really have them feel the pain of the problem so they know of our solution. What's your take on that? Any other gap sellers here? And how do you help them take themselves in the story down and peel their own onion?
Well, anytime you can get them to admit where their pain is, or share that, this isn't working for us right now, and that's why I'm talking to you. I think a lot of clients are afraid to do that because they think, oh, they're going to think it's a slam dunk, and so they keep their cards close to their vest. So if you can ask those questions of, in a perfect world, what would be a great solution for you right now? And you listen and you take notes and you say, okay, well, I think I've got some of that here and I'd love to talk to you about it. Or what's wrong with what you're currently doing that you want to talk to me? And when you can ask that question, they're going to say, well, this is an area that they've asked us to invest in. This is an area that we're trying to grow. Okay, so we know there's budget. That's a good sign. You want to get as many qualifying questions that you can, but do it in a way that is not pushy and that is not used car salesman. I think that whole image is starting to dissipate, which I'm really happy about. But it's all about the relationships. Now, you would never know that from my inbox because it's full of pitch slaps every day. And so stop doing that, because that's never going to win you a deal.
I actually sang a pitch slap song on pitch slap parody on TikTok once, so I'm all about pitch slap comedy. But anyway, did we get your take on this, Blake? I would love to hear what's your take on all this sales stuff.
I mean, again, like I said, I'm definitely not the sales type of person. That's why I usually got directed to other people. But I in regards to the storytelling part, I just, working on websites and such, we have to pretty much get to learn and know our clients. That kind of helps out with the brand voice, just the kind of tone of the website. And and just the biggest thing in marketing too is you need to tell, somewhat, a story, somewhat of a story to be able to drive the people into your business. And the people want that connection. So storytelling is very important when it comes to those areas. And absolutely same with sales. It's I love hearing our clients stories, or even potential client stories, and then I usually talk back, just because I'm a very big talker.
Yes, I love that. All right, well, I want to hear from the audience. Y'all just went a little quiet. Are you still here? What do you think on this? And what kind of selling do you do? I mean, we mentioned storytelling, relationship building. We talked about gap selling, peeling the onion, helping them uncover the pain. Like, what are some other methods you've used? So we've got gap selling is great, but also leveraging the challenger selling can be beneficial because you're challenging their normal way of thinking. Yes, the challenger seller. I love that book. I never did finish it. And the challenger seller book would say that the challenger seller is like above the relationship builder. But I don't know. I always thought I was a relationship builder too. And anyway, I digress. That's a great topic though. So tell me more about why you think challenge, like how do you use that, Armita? Like what's your challenger seller tactic? If you don't mind sharing that in the comments. But as she does, let's move into marketing strategy. Excuse me, local and national. Thank you. Local and national brand mindsets. Could you kick us off, Blake?
Yeah. So, it's kind of wild, how the lines have kind of blurred. A lot of local businesses, they're expected to start showing up like with big national brands when it comes to like either search or just even competing against national brands. While, the national brands, they're having a big problem where they're trying to really figure out how can they be more localized, to try to get, some of those local businesses versus, maybe they'll have other local businesses that compete with them. So what can they do? So, the expectations, they're all rising across the board, certain things like having such polished websites, changing up communication tactics to being like, responding quicker. These kind of things can all make a local business feel like they're big. Just having consistent branding and such across the board would be very helpful. But again, authenticity, and that connection, we were just talking about storytelling, that all still matters, and especially on the local level. So, for that part, what I'm saying, what can some local businesses learn from big brands? Well, again, just because your size doesn't mean you can't look like a major player. So some of the things like I would recommend would be maybe invest in your brand identity, such as your logo, messaging. And then we were just talking about earlier about the high level, a great system, so something that can really help you out, setting up those automations at a high level. I was talking about earlier for our onboarding process, we now have, high level automations connecting through there, kind of helping with our onboarding process, giving messages out to anyone who just signed up with us. We use specific tags to trigger these automations. And again, now we even have with the automations connecting with our AI, sending out, customized messages to those people who are signing on. So like that there are a lot can help you look like your company is bigger, just by having everything, organized. But it may not be as much work when you're saying those kind of automations up at high level. The other good thing, local businesses can do is, invest in a marketing company and pretty much help set up like a really good predictable marketing funnel for you. So then you can have hopefully steady business coming through those lead funnels. So on the other side, flip sides, what can national brands learn from some local businesses? Again, customers, they crave authentic connection. They just don't want to be bombarded with ads all the time. So, what they can do is try to localize those ads more, especially like franchises and such. When it comes to franchising, there's always someone here local that still owns it. So they'll know their local market and probably tailor those specific advertisements to those individuals. So, to kind of wrap things up, even if you're like a neighborhood business or even a national chain, the game is the same. You need to be found, you need to be trusted, you want to be remembered. The ones who end up, blend the polish with personality will eventually be the winners in all of it.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I could have kept on going so much because it's something that I can give a lot on, but I was just like, oh, am I talking too much?
No, I mean, they're two different strategies, really. I mean, what have you done local versus national marketing at all, Lyndsay?
Well, yes, but what I was going to comment on as Blake was talking was, and I just had someone on my show this week talking about this very topic. And I love when brands respond to people. So whether you're national, local, or global, make sure you have a team that's monitoring your socials, because if somebody is going to tag you in a post, there's a gin company that I love. It's called Empress 1908, I think. It's amazing gin. Every time I tag them on anything, they always, always, always respond. And that makes me love the brand even more. So if you are a brand, I don't care how big you are, just make sure that you're connecting with your people. That will make it feel local. And that's a really great tip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. And it doesn't even just carry just through even your marketing, just as, for the national brand side, I would definitely give back to the local community that you're in, participate in any kind of community events that you can, and that will even showcase yourself even more.
Yes. Oh, we got a long comment here. So I'm going to pull it up and let's see. Can I move all of us up so that we are not hidden? So Jessica says, this is such a valuable conversation because we all are selling someone or something, especially ourselves. So the clearer we can be with our voice and narrative, the better. Even if we are not in formal sales role for our clients, we can still collaborate more efficiently when we're confident with some of these tools and how to align them in a seamless way so we can shine. I totally agree, Jessica. Thank you for that comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, love that. Would love to hear from some others. We've got Unicorn CEO over here. People buy your energy and transformation. So that was a comment he was saying earlier too. And that's something we weren't saying on screen yet, is your energy. And I agree, because if you show up with, the wrong energy, people aren't going to feel it. But
well, and you want to match the energy too. Like if someone is very sedate and calm and collected, don't come in guns blazing. Hey, like they're going to find you incredibly annoying. So you really want to match what you see.
100%. Oh yeah. So here's what Darlene says. Sell the vacation, not the plane ride. Yes, exactly. I love that. More comments, please. Keep them coming, because we still actually have a little more time to talk about marketing strategy, local and national brand mindset. So take us a little deeper on this, if you don't mind, Blake. Like, what else can you share with us? And like, what can we take away from it? Like some actionable insights.
Yeah. Where I was saying, where I feel like the two worlds here really meet for them. The biggest thing for small brands and small businesses, look professional, but also feel personal. You can kind of take that away from both. both local and national. But, again, the same thing would happen too, is just, helping with the branding side and just creating that message of local authenticity, for more of the franchise. I don't want to say franchise. I'm used to saying franchises more like national brands, because, again, that's one of the best ways into like each little market is on the franchise side. But so the biggest thing with those is, like I said, just localize everything, local your messaging to help out with it. Obviously, a lot of these national brands, you see their big national commercial, or something like that commercial. But none of that stuff's ever really localized. So what we're doing instead, and in my area that I feel that are people who are winning, are actually the small businesses when it comes to the donut shops. We never go to Dunkin' Donuts, something like that, because it's not they don't really have a good localized message. Where we can here, we actually have like 3 different donut shops that we go over to all the time, that my kids love. So it's a lot about the brand messaging. You can do it very smartly in a way. It can be just small brands to make themselves look bigger. For instance, I consider ourselves small, but I get shocked when I have people hiring us from like California. I'm obviously on the complete East Coast, and then whenever people on the West Coast are hiring us, or even people finding us in the UK and Canada, it just baffles me. So we definitely have a larger presence than the small business that we actually are. So
100%. Thank you for sharing that. We're getting some more comments here. So we've got Doug who's chiming in. He says, energy and passion, offering value and insight beyond the obvious marketing and sales differentiation. Love that, Doug. Thank you for sharing that. And let's talk a little bit real quick too about building your personal brand. Just one quick minute. What's your thought on that, Lyndsay, for sellers?
So this is, I grew up in a time where you didn't do this. There was no such thing as a personal brand. And I wish that I had the wherewithal to think about it then. But I want to just caution anybody that's in a corporate role right now, or anybody that's in any role, you need to build a brand. Your brand is not your title. Your brand is not the company you work for. Your brand is your unique value prop that you bring to the table. And you need to start honing that. You need to represent that on LinkedIn. And as you start to do that, your clients are going to learn more about you, and they're going to be more intrigued by what it is you're bringing to the table. It is an easy thing to start doing. And all I will just tell you is, if you don't know what to do, talk to me, talk to Lyndsay Rios. There's a number of us that are doing this every single day, trying to show you the way. But it's not something I ever learned to do until I became an entrepreneur. And it was really late in the game for me to do that. So I really encourage people to start much, much earlier. And it's okay for your brand to change. That's the other thing. Your interests are going to change. Your expertise is going to change. Your skill sets are going to change. It's all good. So just find your passion, follow it, and be able to represent that for the rest of the world to see.
Yeah, I love that. And be authentic, because it's okay to change. I love that. And people are afraid to change their personal brand, but I digress. That's a whole other topic. And we have to get into the guru of the week. Ooh, ooh. Feels always embarrassing, singing that in a public space with people looking at me, but it's okay. They're like, what are you doing, lady? They don't know this show. But anyway, we want to know, who is your guru of the week? I'm going to pull myself out of the screen. So it's just going to be the two of you feeding off each other, telling everyone in the audience why they should go follow these people, because we all want to go follow someone new and interesting. And we just spent the last hour learning from you. So tell us why we should go follow these.
You want me to go first, Blake?
Yeah, I'll let you go.
All right. So my homegirl, Lyndsay Rios, my other sister, is here. She's been watching. Lyndsay and I met on a Samantha McKenna webinar. Every month there's a women's leadership call that we attend, and she and I have become really good friends, but we share the same philosophy on sales. Lyndsay will also tell you what to make for dinner. She always recounts her recipes every week. She's very funny. She does phenomenal video. She does way better editing than I ever could. And if you're not connected to her, fix that right now. Make sure you're following her, connect with her, tell her you saw her here. And she's just a badass. So go follow Lynds.
Well, I just gave Lyndsay a follow. You sold me.
Nice. Well done.
But anyways, yeah. So for me, you know, a lot of my people, it was really hard for me to really pick a single one. So, you know, 'cause I follow so many other agencies here locally. You know, one of the greatest things that I really enjoy is good partnerships. And, you know, I don't ever look at other people as like competition. You know, it's, you know, there's always some type of relationship that you can build and help out each other. So I had to go with really one of my best news sources for my industry. You know, that I enjoy reading. You know, Search Engine Land. It's definitely SEO based. You know, topics. You know, so but it really helps keep you up to date. And you know, like I said, if you're really into it and you really have questions about SEO or want to learn more about it, I definitely suggest giving Search Engine Land a follow.
So thank you so much for sharing your Guru of the Week, and congratulations to our gurus. And then finally, before we go, we want to know a little bit more about you. So exactly what is it that you do? Who do you serve? And if they can be served by you, how can they find you? It's super loud here. I apologize for all the background noise. Lyndsay, could you take it away?
You bet. I work with executives. I do fractional leadership consulting, leadership strategy. I work with C-suites and individual leaders. I do executive LinkedIn workshops. I also work with people on learning how to tell their story. As you know, we talked about storytelling. This is something that I do really well. I do it all the time on my podcast. And I'm a keynote speaker as well. And I also am looking for sponsors for my show. So the best way to connect with me is you can go out to my website, which is heartbeatforhire.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn or follow me on YouTube. I'm on all the socials except X. I'm not on Twitch though. And yeah, I would love for you to tell me that you saw me here, and let's be connected. And I would love to help you any way I can.
Thank you so much for sharing. And how about you, Blake? A little more about what you do, who you serve, and if they could be served by you, how could they reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So who we really serve is really pretty much any businesses that are really looking to grow. We do have, you know, a small niche in dental marketing, franchise marketing, and also law firms. So we do have like small niches in that. But, you know, our biggest thing is that we really enjoy doing is, you know, taking on planning an entire marketing strategy based on what you really need. And, you know, and then really implementing that strategy. Yeah, so we do offer, you know, SEO, you know, Google Ads, social media. We're a full digital marketing firm. One of the other things that we do offer is also what they call over-the-top TV ads, which I can almost like have a whole nother discussion about and the success. The other big thing I do more independently is, you know, fractional CMO. So those are the areas that, you know, we begin in. So just kind of helping even consulting with, you know, specific businesses, helping them grow. If you really don't have a marketing team, you know, I can either help build you one, or, you know, you can use our services. But again, you know, what I really do is, you know, I help these businesses grow, and that's really, you know, I enjoy doing it, and that's why where I'm at. You know, it's just that feeling and seeing and hearing the success of what we've done. So, and how people can reach me, you know, they can go to our website, www.wahhadesign.com. You can reach directly out to me, Blake at wahhadesign.com. And, you know, I'm happy to answer any kind of questions.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for sharing that. This has been an awesome episode. After the show, we're inviting everyone in the audience into Zoom at reveting.com/Zoom, like you're seeing down below. Obviously, guests, we would love to have you there if you're able to join, but I know it's late, so I'll just pitch it to you. What do you think? Can you join us over on Zoom?
I can do like a quick 10.
A quick 10.
Yeah, I'll play for a little bit. But I'm going to jump out. I'll be a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. So in 5 minutes, everyone, we're going to be over on Zoom, reveting.com/Zoom. Come hang, come meet some people, share your LinkedIn URL, make some connections, learn something new. But yeah, this has been a great episode live, and we really appreciate both of you coming on the show. And congratulations again to our gurus of the week. It's always fun to meet new people. But next week, we've got another really great episode planned. We've got Marissa Banks coming on and Dave Gulas. So don't miss it. You're going to want to meet both of them. And until then, everyone have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you at the after party. I'm going to close us out here with this video. Bye.